Good morning. Today I'm going to teach you about the names of the different types of angles, and I will also show you how the size of the angles is linked to their name. But to begin with, let's start with a recap. In our last lesson we learnt that an angle is a measure of turn, and we also learnt that an angle is measured in degrees. We learnt about the different kinds of turn. First one I want to look at is a full turn. Now a full turn is when a line turns around in a complete circle and it measures 360 degrees. Let's look at that in a diagram. So in the diagram, if I was to start from this vertical line here and move round in a clockwise direction back to where I started, I will have turned 360 degrees. I could also move in an anti-clockwise direction from this line here all the way back round to where I started. I've turned 360 degrees. In fact, I could start anywhere I like on this circle, here or here or here or even here if I drew an imaginary line, as long as I turn all the way back to where I have started from. I have moved through 360 degrees. Right, now let's look at a right angle. So a right angle is a quarter of a turn, that's 90 degrees. If I turn from this top line here round to this line, I have turned through an angle of 90 degrees. And if you look here at this little cross in the middle, you can see that it looks like the corner of a square. If I move from this line here down to this line here, I've turned another 90 degrees or right angle. This line here to this one, another 90 degrees, and this one to this one, another 90 degrees. So that is what we call a right angle. And now we're going to look at a 180 degree turn or a half turn. So half of a full turn is called a straight angle, because you've got a straight line. So an angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. So this angle here would be 180 degrees, this angle here is 180 degrees, and if you look over here at this diagram, even if we had a diagonal line that was straight, this angle here is 180 degrees. Let's move on. So the new learning today is about naming angles. Now some angles have special names that tell you all about their size. So we're going to have a look at some of these angles right now, and we're going to start with the very smallest angle, and that is called an acute angle. So any angle that is smaller than a right angle, that's 90 degrees, is called an acute angle. And I always think of an acute angle like a little baby, and we call it a cutesy wootsy angle. So if you remember, an acute angle is the smallest kind of angle. The next biggest angle after an acute angle is a right angle, which we've already learnt about. That's 90 degrees. So we'll now move on to obtuse angles. An obtuse angle is bigger than a right angle, but smaller than a straight angle, i.e. smaller than 180 degrees. So this angle here is clearly bigger than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. If we look at this angle here, it is only just bigger than 90 degrees or a right angle, but it is still called an obtuse angle. And this angle here is almost 180 degrees but not quite, so it is also called an obtuse angle. And then the last type of angle I want to look at is called a reflex angle. And reflex angles are bigger than 180 degrees or a straight angle. There you go. So if we look at this diagram here, this angle inside these two lines is an obtuse angle because it's a greater than 190 degrees but less than 180 degrees. But this outside angle is 244 degrees, so it's called a reflex angle because it is bigger than 180 degrees. Same as this one over here, this angle over here is bigger than a right angle, 180 degrees, because it is 248 degrees. This angle here is 266 degrees. The angle inside these two lines is just over 90 degrees, so that would have been an obtuse angle. Right, now we've learnt about the 4 different types of angles, let's test what you've learnt. Your job is to guess the names of the 4 angles A, B, C and D. I will give you 3 seconds to answer each question and try and guess the name of the angle, and then I will reveal the answer. But before I do that, let me recap. An acute angle, which is our baby angle, is less than 90 degrees. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is an angle that is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, and any angle that is greater than 180 degrees we call a reflex angle. Okay, are you ready? Let's start with A. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, and the answer is an obtuse angle, because this angle is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Let's try another one. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and it's an acute angle. Yes, there it is. It's an acute angle because it is less than 90 degrees. There you go. Nice little small cute angle. Let's move to C. 3, 2, 1, and yeah, it's a right angle, completely and exactly 90 degrees. And finally, let's have a look at this angle here. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and yes, that's an acute angle again, because once again it is less than 90 degrees. How did you do? Shall we have another go? I have some more angles now for you to have a look at. This time I'm going to whiz through them. 3, 2, 1, that's an obtuse angle, greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So this angle here, are you ready? It is a 3, 2, 1 right angle. That's right. Looks a bit different to our other right angle, but that's just because it's in a different orientation, but it is still a 90 degree angle. Okay, over to C. 3, 2, 1, and it's an acute angle, less than 90 degrees. Last one, D. 3, 2, 1, and that is an obtuse angle. Have you noticed which angle we haven't looked at? That's right, a reflex angle. But if we go over here to D and you look at this whole angle that I'm pointing out now, that would be your reflex angle, greater than 180 degrees. Here would be another reflex angle. Here, another one. And in fact that one we know is 270 degrees because it will be a 3/4 turn. And then this angle here would also be a reflex angle. So we're now at the end of our lesson on naming angles, and I hope that you are now really familiar with naming the 4 different types of angles. That's an acute angle, a right angle, an obtuse angle and a reflex angle. I'll put some follow-up activities onto our website on the Learning at Home page under the Maths topic sections. I hope you enjoy completing them, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!